Hi guys, so we are taking the kids to their very first concert. My son is obviously more excited than my daughter about this. We will be going to Everclear at the drive-in. I put like what they would have done for the concert poster that they used on like social media and stuff. They had Sister Hazel opening for them, and it was called Everclear at the Drive-In. It was 2 nights. It was October 2nd and October 3rd. We went to the one on the 2nd. We went to the first one. And it was a different layout. I'm obviously recording this afterwards, but you can maybe make it out in the pictures. This probably only had about, I want to say 100 cars, and tickets were sold by the carload. When you purchase a ticket, however many people you could fit in your vehicle is how many you could bring in. So obviously we had 4. At first, when my husband heard the ticket price, he's like, whoa, because it was over $200. And I'm like, when you sit down and figure out that it's only about $50 a person, he's like, oh, well, that's typically what you pay at a concert. So yeah, you typically pay $50 to $100 per person to go to any kind of concert. So when we figured that, it made it more reasonable. Obviously, the more people you had, the better the deal. We just took the 4 of us. We took my van instead of my husband's truck just because there's more room in my van. Other people brought pickup trucks. My husband has a whole bunch of crap in his pickup truck, but they would like make little beds in the pickup trucks and such. But how they had it spaced out is when you came in, there were front tickets and back tickets. Ours was a back ticket. The front tickets were more expensive, as well as the front tickets were sold out by the time I bought tickets. So we got a back ticket. When you pulled in, you showed them what ticket you were supposed to have, and then you got a piece of paper that they put on your windshield that either said front or back. Excuse me. And then you drive in, and then they'd put you in the designated areas. It was an outdoor concert, and they would have a car, then they would have 2 spaces, and then they would have a car and 2 more spaces. And essentially you got the space that, you got the space on the side of your cars. And obviously the space in your car, and then like a little bit, like you could turn around so that the lady next to us didn't even get out of her vehicle, but she turned her vehicle around so the front of her vehicle was facing the stage. We had our vehicle facing the back end facing the stage, so we opened the hatch up, and my daughter stayed in the van pretty much the whole time playing on her iPad. And so that's how it was. It was kind of neat. You can kind of see it in the pictures. I'm not giving my full review of the concert, just kind of explaining how this concert was. Social distance, so they had the cars social distanced. We were allowed to go inside it was at the HEB Center. We were allowed to go inside the HEB Center to use the restroom. They had that kind of roped off. They did not have full concessions. And this was the cool thing is it was tailgating style. So you got to bring in whatever food you wanted to. Lots of people literally brought in barbecue grills and grilled while they were waiting for the concert to start. I mean, it was really laid back, really chill. Like I said, there was only about 100 cars there, and you average, I would say there was probably about 4 people for a car, so maybe 400 people total. It wasn't, I mean, it was really, it was a really chill and relaxed environment. So it was cool like that. But when you went in, you did have to wear masks. They did have a little merchandise stand that obviously I got my Everclear shirt. I've gotten an Everclear shirt for every concert I've gone to there, so I have now 6 of them. My son got his too, so he fell in love with Everclear. Where the kids have listened to it before in the van, but they didn't really know what they were listening to. But after they went, my son really does like them now. So anyways, I'm going to show some of like my son. There are going to be some small clips of songs because obviously I don't want to get copyrighted. So I can't show full songs. I didn't really even record full songs. I recorded one full song, and that was because it was my favorite one at the concert, but I will talk about that at the end. So I hope you enjoy the video, or like the quick clips of sound or songs and the pictures from the show. Think of for your first concert.
Good.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
What are you doing with it?
It's because it's rock and rock's my favorite music. And pretty soon after this video, I'm gonna beat up my dad.
Who are you gonna see that? Who is first?
Sister Hazel.
Who's next?
Everclear.
Who are you more excited to see?
Probably both, because they sound rockish. And I was trying to be my best rock. If you see my vest on my chair, I was wearing it a few minutes ago until it got uncomfortable
Oh, okay.
and itchy.
Yeah, this is a song about the girl next door. Try to be everything to everyone. Spin around, fall down to. She said, "You're possessed with a power bigger than the pain. Power bigger than the pain." Time, take me to the moon, take me to the beach, take me. Don't like to die for a while, every day in the afternoon, like the lesbians of the. West Coast, you sing, I don't wanna be your.
What did you go do?
Go to my first concert.
Where was it?
It was at Cedar Park where the HEB Center is.
What was it?
Everclear at Drive-In.
Who was the bands that you saw?
Everclear and Sister Hazel.
What did you think of Sister Hazel?
Good and excellent if they can! Exclamation point.
Did you like any of their songs?
Yes, but sometimes some of them I can remember, but I can't remember their lyrics, but I'll try and remember them if my blah 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 helps me.
What did you think of Everclear?
Well, good, but probably more like excellent.
Which one did you like better?
I liked both kind of equally. I do not play favorites a lot. Trust me.
What were your favorite songs?
Well, my favorite songs are "I'll Buy You a New Life," if everything to everyone, and "Heart Speak Dollar Shy."
Heart sparked dollar signs.
Okay, good. Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Did you like any of the other songs?
Yes, but some of them I can't remember, some of them I can. It just depends on if the brain put in the lyrics correctly. If they didn't, I can't memorize. If they did, I can.
Oh, what's her shirt?
Everclear with a car, the red one.
Did you pick that out?
Yes.
So, what is your overall review for your first concert?
Well, it was like amazing at the beginning, but at the ending it was like a blast, but I got very tired.
Why'd you get very tired?
Because it wasn't until like 10 or 11.
Well, what time? Why is that so late?
Because I'm a child. I need 9 to 12 hours of sleep.
So what would you rather have done? Gone to the concert or gone to bed?
Probably both. Well, at the end of the concert, I just go to bed, but where I was going home, it was actually uncomfortable sleep. So I was like, the bed is more comfortable.
So anything else you want to say about your first concert?
I don't think so, but I can do it.
Okay, then do it.
I said that can do it. That means I think that might be it. And we can probably do a second better one if I figure out what I want to say next.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing some clips from songs that they played and then some pictures of my family while we were at the show. So, guys, I'm recording this 3 weeks later, so this is going by memory. So the set list was primarily 90s Everclear. Oh my gosh, I about died. I have been an Everclear fan since back in 95 when I first heard Santa Monica on MTV. In fact, I remember the day that it debuted on MTV. I can tell you right where I was at. Bop by Hanson was very popular, and my friend and I were in their like sunroom that they turned into breakfast nook and formal dining room. And there was like an old, it was old like wooden, I can't think of what that, like the wood paneling was on the walls. It had like a curved windows on it. There was a hot tub sitting in the background or in the back, and actually we were at the hot tub. My friend's parents had an indoor hot tub. And then there's a TV in the corner, and in the corner was, her and I always watched MTV. It was a given, whichever room we were in that had a TV, it was going to be on MTV. We both absolutely loved music. So they had just finished playing Bop, and her and I, we always called them the Hanson sisters. So we were kind of making fun of the Hanson sisters, and all of a sudden, I cannot remember which DJ came on. Not DJ, VJ came on, so it's not disc jockey, but a video jockey came on and was like, there's this new band from California that this is their first single, and they're getting a lot of play currently. So we're like, oh, okay. So we're kind of watching this intriguing ad. Everclear Santa Monica came on. I have been hooked ever since. Her and I, literally, both of us fell in love with the song. Her brother drove. We obviously didn't. We were 13 at the time. And so we asked her mom if her brother could take us to either the mall, which had a Sam Goodies, which was a music store, or Media Play, which was it had movies, music, and books. So it had a better selection of books than Barnes and Noble. It had a huge video selection, and it also had a huge music section. And then they had like some novelty stuff, like you would even see now. It wasn't like that, but they would sell things like Funko Pops, which obviously Funko Pops didn't exist back then, but stuff like that, like music stuff, movie stuff, TV stuff. This was also like when Lord of the Rings was popular, and they had like Lord of the Rings figures. When NSYNC was popular, they sold like the NSYNC dolls. Stuff like that was sold there. So her brother took us to the mall and dropped us off. We both ran into Sam Goody, and the first thing we did was, we want the Everclear CD. And we both bought it, and I ended up wearing mine out because I listened to it so much. I absolutely loved Sparkle and Fade. I loved that music. Then when they came out with So Much for the Afterglow, once again, loved it. So I'm a 90s girl. Everybody was all excited about this 80s doll, but I would be more excited for a 90s doll because I have more fond memories in the 90s. And in the 90s was like my pre-teen, teen years. So anyways, the songs I remember, but I don't fully remember in the order. And there is one song that the clip may be in the video. I cannot, for the life of me, remember the name of the song. So there is one song that's missing from this list, but they opened with So Much for the Afterglow. Now, if you've ever been to an Everclear concert, they start if you've ever heard So Much for the Afterglow, it starts out kind of an ooh song. And they have a record. How they start out the concerts typically is with this song, and it comes on the speaker. Obviously, that's a recorded part, and then all of a sudden the lights fly up and the song starts. That part cuts out, and the first lines of the song is, "This is a song about Susan." So as soon as this comes on, lights fly up. What happened was, so they go through the opening of the song, which is this ooh, kind of ah, and it's kind of like a tribute to like an old like 50s, 60s kind of doo-wop type music. Well, the lights fly up and they didn't start the song. What had happened is the lead singer, Art Elisakis's guitar, somebody didn't tune it before. I mean, this was their first concert in over 6 months, so they were a little rusty, and he's like, surprise, and he starts laughing. So one of the roadies comes running out with a new guitar that was tuned, and then he goes, let's start that again. And then so they started the song. But when I heard the ooh, I'm like, this is going to be a great concert. I know this is going to be a great concert. Then they went into Heroin Girl, which was on So Much for the Afterglow was on Sparkle and Fade. Or not Sparkle and Fade. Heroin Girl was on Sparkle and Fade. So Much for the Afterglow was on So Much for the Afterglow. Yeah, duh. So they went back to Heroin Girl, and I'm like, this is getting better. So after Heroin Girl, they went on to Local God. Local God wasn't on any of their CDs that I can remember. I think it was on one of their greatest hits CDs, but it was actually on the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack, and I loved that song. Then they went into AM Radio, which AM Radio is on, it was one of their early 2000s records. Which one was it? I want to say it was on Songs from an American Movie. Is what I want to say it was on. I know it wasn't on Songs from an American Movie 2. I think it was just on Songs from an American Movie. I can see the CD cover in my head, but I want to say it was on Songs from an American Movie. So that was actually the newest song they played, was AM Radio, which was perfectly fine with me because on that CD, AM Radio was one of my favorites. Then that went into Everything to Everyone, which my son absolutely, that was one of his, like, he was really getting into it. He kind of got up and would dance a little bit. His foot was tapping. Like, he really enjoyed Everything to Everyone. And then Art was talking, and he was talking about Sparkle and Fade. And he's like, this is a little known song from Sparkle and Fade. And he goes, we're going to play Heart Spark $. And I literally screamed. My husband looks over at me and he's like, what's wrong with you? So that is the song that I did record the whole song just because that was my favorite song, one of my favorite songs off of Sparkle and Fade. So I recorded that one. That one, I think I put a clip, like a small clip of it in just because I didn't want to be copyrighted for the whole song. But I still to this day like him playing it. I loved that song. And once again, my son's toes were tapping and he was shaking his head and he was putting up his fingers, his rock fingers. He was having a ball. He loved every minute of it. So they played Heart Spark Dollar Sign. Then it went into Father of Mine, which was another big hit of theirs off of So Much for the Afterglow. Then they played Wonderful, which my son really enjoyed that one too. And during Wonderful, I went over and talked to my husband because I had already bought my Everclear shirt. I bought it before the concert. And we were just planning to buy mine. And my son was enjoying it so much. I went over to talk to my husband, and my husband agreed that I would take him over to let him pick out his own shirt. They only had a few different shirts. They had the shirt that he picked out that's when he was talking about the concert he was wearing. It says Everclear in red, and then it has a red car on it. So I got this one. It says Everclear at the drive-in, and then on the back is the poster that's at the beginning of this video. So anyways, they had these two, and then they had one that said Everclear with sunflowers on it. And I think those were the only three they had. The guy even said, he goes, they didn't really give me much merch to sell. And then they were selling Everclear, So Much for the Afterglow vinyl. So anyways, my son picked out his shirt, and then while we were walking back to our spot, they were playing I Will Buy You a New Life. And then here is where the mystery song is. I cannot remember what came after I Will Buy You a New Life. I did not record it. I cannot for the life of me remember. There was a song there, and then they closed with Santa Monica, which was my favorite song. So I obviously, as 90s, early 2000, huge Everclear fan. Like I've said, I've seen them 6 times now. I was in heaven, especially that they played all of like their older stuff, because a lot of bands now are just playing newer things. Like I know when I've gone to see their concerts, one of my favorite, like I have 2 of my favorite songs of theirs are actually my all-time favorite songs either is Tonight, and I do like Rise Above This. That's a close second. They play Rise Above This because it has such a deep meaning to Sean, the lead singer. They don't really play Tonight because it was an older song. So I mean, go to a concert and I'm a little disappointed. I've gone to 2 or 3 now, see their concerts, and I've only heard Tonight once live. But anyways, I was so happy that they played mostly 90s music. That music I remember brought me back to the day. And the only thing I wish they would have played was Amphetamine. That is by far my absolute favorite Everclear song is Amphetamine. They did not play it. As soon as they finished Santa Monica, they were done. I don't know if they could only go till 10 o'clock because it was an outdoor concert. And on the back side of the parking lot, there was houses. So obviously these houses, like the sound. So I don't know if they had to end the show at 10. They ended a little after 10. If for permit reasons they had to do that, but there was no encore. So it was just as soon as Santa Monica ended, the band's roadies packed up. And I mean, it was, like I said, it was a very personal, I mean, we were spread out. We were further away from the stage than I usually am at an Everclear concert. Excuse me. But it felt very low-key, very relaxed. It was a great experience for my kids for their first concert. Everclear did a fantastic job, even though there were a few hiccups along the way. Which song? I think it was Everything to Everyone that Art kind of messed up some of the lyrics, and we all just went along with it. For those that don't know, Art Alasakis does have, what is it now? My brain is going blank. Parkinson's disease, I believe, is what he has. He announced it not long ago. Art used to actually be an addict. He's a recovering addict, and he's been recovering for 20 some years, I think, 20 plus years. In fact, they had a drummer that they actually kicked out of the band because he felt it was, the drummer was addicted to drugs and he wouldn't get help, and Art felt it would hinder his own sobriety. So anyways, he is a recovering addict. Well, within the last year or so, people started knowing at concerts he would kind of mess up some of the lyrics, he would mess up some of the notes while playing, he would mess up, like, he was shaking a lot too. And so I want to say about a year ago, he came out on social media that, yes, these things are taking place. No, I haven't wanted to say anything about this up until now. Obviously, I'm going to have to, because people were accusing him of have fallen off the wagon, and he was addicted to drugs again. And that when he was on stage, the reason why he was forgetting everything was because he was so high. And he's like, no, it's not because I'm so high. It's the Parkinson's. And he's almost 60 years old too. So he's been at this for a while. And I mean, it's still great to see he's out there. It's still great to see the band. I am so excited to see them again. My son is actually, you know, if they come again, can we go again? And so most likely if they come anywhere, it'll probably be around Austin. We probably will go again. Get an actual concert experience for him, which it was fine for a first concert experience. There was lots of kids there, so my kids weren't the only ones there, and it was just a really chill environment. It was fantastic. I couldn't, especially in this COVID world we live in. Everything is unknown. Lots of concerts have been canceled. Lots of musicians are like sitting at home chomping at the bit because they want to get back on the road. Obviously, that's how they earn money. 1, and 2, they want to spread their music. Some of them, like Seether, have done like online concerts, but watching a concert on your computer versus being there in person are two different things. The energy, like obviously they've got the energy when they're doing it on the video. Like you can watch live concerts that have been recorded on like YouTube and such, but it's not the same. So ultimately, it was a great concert experience for my kids. They had a blast. Well, my son specifically had a blast. My daughter, she's not really into music, or as she calls it, the rock music. She's more into like techno. She loves Taylor Swift. She loves Poppy from Trolls, so she likes pop music. She likes techno, stuff like that, where my son is more like me. He likes rock music. He likes like Panic at the Disco. He likes hip hop. He likes funk. So he thoroughly enjoyed himself. He got bit by the concert bug. So I have a feeling a lot of concerts we'll be going to from here on out. I have a buddy to go with me. If my husband won't go with me, then my son and I will go. But he had fun. He wants to go to more. Like I said, I think the concert bug bit him in the butt while we were there. The only thing, like, we did listen to some Everclear music before, but while we were there, he couldn't remember a lot of it. So in the future, I think leading up to a concert, if it's somebody like he's kind of unsure of, I plan to play more of. I know, like, he loves Green Day. If Green Day comes back to this area, we probably will take him to a Green Day concert. But once again, he loves Green Day. He knows Green Day, but he doesn't necessarily know Green Day songs. If he hears a Green Day song, he'll like the song, but he doesn't know what song it is. And he might not necessarily know Green Day's playing it. So kind of get him prepared so he knows what to expect song-wise. But I hope you enjoyed my video. I know it's going to be a little bit of a long one because I'm kind of rambly here. But I will see everyone later. Bye.